Hello, I am Thomas Gojkovic and I am your children's PE teacher this year at Holmes Junior High. And I'm just so excited to be their teacher and to be back at Holmes. I actually went to Holmes Junior High when I was in junior high. I went to Birch Lane before that, and then after Holmes I went to Davis High School. So it's really neat to be back at Holmes Junior High teaching. I grew up in Davis. I lived in Davis pretty much my whole life. My parents owned the clothing store James Anthony Menswear downtown. So if you ever went in there, you either met my parents or my grandparents. So that was it's been a really great thing for me to grow up in this wonderful town. After high school, I went to Sonoma State for college and then Sac State to get my teaching credential. Okay, so today I want to go over a little bit about how this year has gone and my plan for how it will go in the future and in the coming months. So the weeks are laid out to where they're moving every day, okay? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there's going to be some movement, okay? And the students have been so great with moving and dressing for PE and making sure they're wearing things that they can move freely in. So that's a big important part of the class. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I have deemed movement days, and this goes across the other PE teachers at Holmes. So they're gonna be moving a lot those days, right? And they're gonna be learning about exercise, nutrition, fitness concepts, movement concepts, but those are gonna be real heavily focused on just getting them up and moving. Tuesdays and Thursdays, although they're going to be moving, it will be a little bit different and they'll be learning some different things. Tuesdays will be more our social emotional learning days, community building, cooperating, doing some activities that really build classroom community, social awareness, all the things that are really important in class, but also as they're growing up. And then Thursdays are going to be our unit days. So Thursdays is where we would, whatever unit we're doing, let's say we're doing soccer, we're gonna learn about that unit. So maybe we learn about the history of soccer, who started it, where it began. Maybe we watch some footage of some soccer games throughout history. We'll learn some rules, some gameplay. We're gonna be learning a lot about whatever unit we're studying, and hopefully we can get into some creative ways to move doing that activity. Although it will be more challenging, I think that we can do something to where they can really like and enjoy whatever we're studying. So that's a little bit about how my weeks go. Now I want to tell you about how each day goes. So generally at the beginning of class, after I take roll, I'll do a check-in, right? I'll have the students tell me how they're feeling, whether out loud or in the chat, so that I know if something's going on, if the whole class isn't feeling right about something, or if some students are having issues, I know about it so I can create a really good learning environment. I also want to know if people have celebrations, if there's things going really well that they want to chat about. After that, we'll generally do some sort of movement, some sort of warm-up. And then after that, we maybe do some strength training exercises, some body weight exercises. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, after the warm-up, we'll get right into our workout and our exercises. And we're learning about different exercises and about fitness and about the benefits of different things related to exercise and fitness. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, after we do the warm-up, we'll get into the social emotional learning on Tuesdays and then the unit on Thursdays. And there might be a little bit of crossover on each day where we'll learn about something related to fitness or exercise on Tuesday or Thursday, or we'll talk about the unit on Monday and Wednesday or Friday. But generally, that's how my days go. At the beginning of class each day, I always ask for questions. I want to hear if they're concerned about something or they just have a question about an assignment or about the class. And I always save time at the end as well for questions or concerns. If they want to talk to me one-on-one at the end, I save time for that. Now, I understand that the online learning is really tough for some people, and their schedules, they may have trouble keeping everything in line. So I do accept late work if they just can't get something done. I accept late work. They will get some points taken off, but I encourage the students, if they can't get it done in time, give it to me as soon as they can, because a few points off is much better than a 0. So generally I give them a week after it's due to turn in late work, and I encourage them to just turn it in so they can get some points. The students also get 5 participation points each day for coming to class, working hard, moving, being respectful, being responsible, doing what they're supposed to be doing, cooperating. And if they miss class for whatever reason, they don't get those points. But I've created makeup assignments for them to make up those points if they do end up missing participation points. You can find those in Canvas under modules, and then there's a section for makeup assignments that they can complete. Now, the cameras in the class. So for PE, it is so important that they have their cameras on, and so I can see them moving and focusing for a variety of reasons. One, I want to see them moving, right? It's so important, as we know, for the students to get moving, to get exercising, to get that physical activity. 2, I want to make sure they're doing the movements correctly so that I can make sure they're getting the most benefit out of the activity that we're doing. And 3, I want to make sure they're not going to injure themselves. So I've been a personal trainer and a strength and conditioning coach for just about 7 years. And so I know if exercises are done incorrectly, there's a high probability they could get injured depending on the exercise. So that's another reason I want to make sure their cameras are on. We went through an assignment last week about the different comfort zones, and we talked about it. And we talked about being in the comfort zone where things are pretty easy and super comfortable. We're in the growth zone where we're learning, it's exciting, things are maybe a little uncomfortable, but we're learning. And then the panic zone. That's where you're just so overwhelmed and stressed and anxious that you don't want to do anything, right? So, and it was very, very interesting to read all the students' responses to that assignment. And what I found was some of the students having their camera on and moving in front of their peers creates a lot of anxiety and stress. And so I encourage them to turn their cameras on, and I really, really, really want them to have their cameras on because it gives the class a lot of life. It gives me energy as the teacher. It gives the students energy. But I tell them if they're in the panic zone that day, they don't have to have the camera on, okay? Now, I am trying really hard to create a positive and encouraging and uplifting and comfortable classroom culture to where the students are so comfortable with each other and with me that they can have those cameras on to have just a great classroom community. But again, I tell them that if they're in the panic zone, then that's okay. I also understand that I have so many different and wonderful learners in my class and different and wonderful movers. So I always try to accommodate and modify for the class and for each student. And I encourage the students, whether it's at the end of class, sort of a one-on-one time, or they can write a private message in the chat, to come with me for if they need a modification for an exercise or an assignment, or if they're worried about something. I always try and modify and accommodate. So if there is an issue with any of the assignments, anything else in the class, and you feel like something needs to be modified or I need to accommodate in some way, feel free to reach out. Also, I try and give directions as clear as I can, but I also encourage the students to email me or again, talk to me at the end of class if there's any concerns about an assignment or something that they're unsure of how to do. I have just been so impressed with your children this year during this difficult season of online learning. They have really been thriving. At least in my class, they've been so positive and flexible and adaptable and hardworking. I've just been really impressed. Often this past summer, I've gotten the question, how are you going to teach PE online? And I always answered it the same way, with a lot of creativity, with a lot of positivity, adaptability, and hard work. And your children really have been encompassing those concepts. And I've really tried hard to make it an enjoyable experience and a great learning experience where the classroom is a place where they're moving and learning every day. And again, I've just been really impressed with them.